What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of Rogue Agent Radio, a podcast dedicated to all things Tom Clancy's The Division. I'm your host, Boomslangg, and joining me, as always, is the community-focused agent with the deepest voice I've ever heard, DeepFriedDave. How's it going, Dave?
Very not bad. Actually, a little better than not bad. The Cubs are back in the playoffs, baby. That's all I have to say.
Is it? Are you sure?
Are
we talking about the baseball team?
Yes, it is legit. Yeah, it's not your son's fourth grade team.
Yeah,
you know, the
okay.
home
I didn't
team.
know if you were talking
This
about
is
like a high school team
MLB Chicago Cubs. I know.
Wait, what do we?
I don't even watch baseball, and I know they.
What are we
suck,
talking about?
so
Sport ball? All right, got it.
Yeah, football. Well, I'm good. Thanks for asking.
And another sexy voice is our ex-military badass, BlessedDoom. What's up, Doom?
Oh, not a whole lot. You know, I feel like if you're going to call me the ex-military badass, I should have a way more badass voice. And I'm just going to
bring out the Batman
I'm
voice.
just going to
That's
talk
what
like
we do.
Batman for the whole time.
Yeah,
Just,
what's up, guys?
yeah.
I'm the ex-military badass. We can talk about some guns today.
And batarangs. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, what have you been up to? Doom, you were just saying that you had your first Crota kill or Oryx kill in Destiny. If I had a penny for every time I played that and everyone called him Crota, I would be a millionaire right now.
we were doing that the entire time. But yeah, I managed to get my first Oryx kill today, and it was amazing. I got the scout rifle, the exact gun that I was hoping for, and I finally broke
really
300.
Nice. I like the scout rifle. I got the scout. I ran it on my Titan and my Hunter, and I got the gauntlets for both of them, and I got the scout rifle first, and then I got the shotgun and the hand cannon. Actually,
Nice.
I had a pretty good time.
Nice.
I hope one day my hunter will be all grown up and be able to play in the raid himself.
I know. I see you online every once in a while, and then you're not doing anything, or else I would jump on and join you. But I see your light level, and I was like, I should probably help him get up higher so he can do the raid.
Thanks, man.
I mean, if you need help, I will help you. All you gotta do is ask. But running strikes is normally the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to other than playing Destiny, which is in our gaming lives? I guess that's what's been consuming us the most. Because just to give everybody like a brief history, like we all come from a Destiny focused clan. Like me and Doom are from Resolute, and we played. Our clan is a Destiny-focused clan, and then Dave comes from the Dads of Destiny, and if the name didn't give it away, then they're a huge Destiny clan. So
Yes.
just kind of explain things a little bit more.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't think anything could bring Metal Gear Solid 5 to a screeching halt, but the Taken King did. I mean, I was deep into Metal Gear, and then I completely forgot about it.
Right. I didn't expect it to do that either.
Yeah.
Like, I think because of the last DLCs that had come out for it, I had my hopes set really low.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised when I loaded it up. I was like, what are all these quests?
Yeah.
You know, what is this? And seriously, like, I've played every single day for probably 2 hours at least. Even on, like, when I come home from work and stuff, I hang out with the family and then I get on and play. But these past 2 weekends, like, I've put a lot of time into it, and I still have quests. By the way, the exotic sword quest is one of the most boring things I've done, or at least the last step of it is extremely boring. I had to go farm helium filaments, and I farmed for 2 hours. Yes. Let's put it this way: I had 0 helium filaments when I started out. By the time I was done, I had like over 200.
Oof.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's worth it. I'm not going to spoil anything for everybody else, but I hope it's worth it. But yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how it's evolved, and it really feels like a different game now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're definitely on the right track.
right. And I think they finally realized that quests is what makes that game now.
Yep.
Because now you have things to do. And now you have, like, everything has a purpose. And I'm not saying, like, every game needs to have quests, but that style of game, I think they were more on the shooter side, and they needed to kind of adopt some more of the RPG style of gameplay. And I think once they finally molded those two together, they found the sweet spot basically. And now, you know, that's what I'm hoping the Division's going to be like. You know, it's more RPG than it is shooter, so hopefully they already have the quests, and then the shooter part of it just kind of flows with it. You know, I don't know. I mean, I know the shooting part of it is good because what I played was freaking awesome. So
I still have a beef with it. I'm not going to lie. You know, I've been having a lot of fun with it, but I'm a little discouraged. And I think we were talking about this the other night, and I'm a hunter. And hunters just get a bad rep, you know, for being fragile and have papier-mâché armor and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm seeing all of this. Doom, you were mentioning some of the arms that you got. What were they called again? Some of the arms that you got for your Titan?
Maul's Maulers.
And what do they look like?
Yeah.
It looked like a chainsaw in one arm.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's intimidating. Hunters have feathers. So we have feathers coming out of everything, like your boots and your arms and everything.
But hold on. They also have leaves. Don't forget them.
That's camouflage. That's camouflage, man. That's tactical.
So you can either hide in the bushes or you can hide in the trees with the birds.
I'm going to use my invisibility and jump out and tickle you, and you won't even see it coming. Or we got Doom coming with his chainsaw running after me.
I will say though, I like the helmets, or like the helmets. They're more like face masks almost, but they're probably my favorite hunter helmets that have been in the game so far, because they have like the 3 eyes, but they actually look like what I imagine a hunter would be wearing, you know, because they have like the pullover like mask, and then they have that, it's almost like a goggle they put over their face.
It's like a black lava
they would like use for scouting or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So I do like those.
I do like the Night Stalker with the smoke bomb, where you're just like David Copperfield and you just toss one on the ground and you're invisible. And when somebody's running at you with a chainsaw, and then you can get behind them and tickle them without them even seeing it. Or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I haven't really been doing anything other than playing Destiny and working and stuff. I built my gaming desk finally.
I saw that on the
walnut.
Yeah, they look good, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I really took a lot of time to work on it because I've done woodworking in the past, so I had a little bit of experience and kind of knew what I was doing. But also, instead of just building wooden legs, where I work, they have a bunch of metal pipe, and so I actually cut it all at work. Like, I asked my boss, I was like, "Hey, I'm making a desk. Can I use these for the legs?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever." So I cut it all and then brought it home, put it all together, and painted them and stuff. And so it turned out really cool. I'm excited about it. So I actually have a place to sit dedicated to playing it, and I don't have to take the TV from my wife or whatever. So. But anyways, in case you guys didn't know, Rogue Agent Radio is your podcast headquarters for the Division news extractions, discussions, and agent trust issues. You can find us on iTunes or Podbean by searching Rogue Agent Radio, where we will post the show every other Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So synchronize your watches accordingly. And if you're feeling generous, leave us a review and or comment and let us know what you think. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Rogue Agent Radio for updates on the show and up-to-date news on the Division. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of the week. So for this week, we're going to talk a little bit about character progression and sort of like how the RPG functions in this in the Division. So to start it off, though, we had an email that I wanted to read off that kind of asked about the exact same thing. So we'll start off. How will the Division be different from Destiny in main play style? You mentioned it's an RPG where Destiny is mostly a shooter, and that may get confusing for some people. How will abilities and classes work? Where Destiny, you could have any classes in any group do anything because of its FPS nature. Since this is more RPG, will it having different classes or play styles be a bigger role? Once again, looking forward to listening to you guys and learn what the Division will bring to the table. And that is from Charlie. Twitter at AmuseCuss. So, this is this is a really dense topic, but we're gonna try to break things down a little bit for everybody, so it's not a 4-hour long podcast. But just to kind of start it off, in this game, leveling is like your usual RPG. Your XP increases points towards the next level. You kill enemies. You complete objectives. I mean, everybody knows how you level in a game. It functions the exact same way. Skills are acquired with skill points, like they typically are in an RPG, and they you can pick which ones you want. Level up through a tree. Supposedly, there hasn't been an exact picture to kind of tell us what's been going on with that, but you can probably assume that you're going to get skill points that you'll then use to unlock abilities, which are then mapped to the slots in your R1 and L1 buttons if you're on PlayStation. And then your skills are then upgradable up to 3 tiers. Each tier changes the ability in some way or another. Like with the Seeker Mind, you can upgrade it to like be a flashbang or be a mortar mind, different things like that. But yeah, the skills are definitely going to add to the game a lot. They're probably not going to be a ton of them. I think we talked a little bit about it. And we talked a little bit about it a couple weeks ago, like how I think we had an email or something.
Yeah, we touched on that speak pipe a little bit, about some of the common ones that everyone is seeing right now. So if you're watching any of the E3 or whatnot, you're seeing the turret everywhere, the Seeker Mine. So those are the most popular ones. So that's where that email came from, was about the skills.
Yeah. And I think the thing that's going to really differentiate this game from Destiny, and I think we're going to get into it a little bit more, but there actually is like dedicated skills to different roles. Like if you want to play a DPS or you want to do the most damage, then there are going to be skills and there are going to be weapons that lean more towards that kind of play style. So you're not going to be like sitting back and taking a whole lot of damage. You're going to be going in and trying to do as much damage as you possibly can. And then there's going to be the tanks where you get gear that has a ton of armor, and then weapons that are more up close and personal where you'll take all of the attention of the enemies, and then you'll have your healer class, obviously. We'll talk a little bit about the gear, because the gear and the weapons are going to be pretty interesting, because they also have tiers and mod slots.
And just to real quick, Boom, just to clarify, like if if you have a MMO type of background, or if you don't, you might not know how that DPS tank healer thing works. So like an ideal group, so say you go into a raid or a dungeon or something like that, you want to have an ideal group of the Holy Trinity at least. So the DPS, the damage per second, and that's just your damage dealer that's just running in there causing havoc and putting all the hit points out. And then your tank of the group, right, which is just pretty much the distraction, soaking up all the bullets and also doing heavy damage from a little more from a distance, right? And then the healer or support, who is legitimately typically hanging back and making sure the rest of the team is healed, or doing support type techniques in this case. So I had no idea what those three meant until I started looking at the Division stuff, so I just wanted to put it out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a good thing you pointed that out too, because a lot of people coming into this game probably wouldn't know what they were getting themselves into. Like if you come from a strictly shooter side of the game and you come into this game, you're not going to have a clue what's going on in terms of the skills, at least. I mean, you're going to know how to shoot people, but to get the most out of the game, you're going to want to build out your character in a way that's going to complement other people's play styles. And the cool thing about that is you can pick which one. Like you make your character, and then you pick your skills as you're leveling up to play more how you want to. And then once you get halfway through it and you're like, oh, you know what, I want to try out playing as a healer class or whatever, then you start leveling that up. Now I don't know if they're going to make it to where you can like reassign all your skills, like pay in-game money and then reset all of your skills, but because it's going to take a while to level all of them up, obviously. So normally RPGs, though, they do have some kind of like potion or something. Like I know in The Witcher you'd have a potion that you could drink and it would remove all of your skills, and then you could just reassign all of your skill points to different classes. So
that's the way Borderlands is. If you just go to the new use or whatever station it is, and you just pay some of the in-game currency and you just respec all your skills. It just dumps them all back in and you just reassign them.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they didn't have something like that. And if they don't, then whoever's listening to this from Massive, you need to look into that pretty quick. So. To talk a little bit more about the gear and weapons. Like all RPGs, they are color coded by their rarity. So you'll have common are white, green is uncommon, blue is rare, purple is epic, and orange is legendary. Now, the difference between all of these rarities is, number one, their attack damage and their levels. Normally, if you have a level 12 weapon, you can't use it until you're level 12. You have to level up and then unlock it. And those typically, the more rare they are, the more damage that they'll do. But the other thing with the rarities in this game that's kind of it's kind of like a lot of RPGs. Like, it's the same way with The Witcher. They have mod slots. Now, if you come from an RPG site, imagine mod slots as being your runestone slots or whatever. Like, if you get this certain runestone, say it does 2% critical damage and then chance of burning or something like that. Well, in the Division, it's going to be a boost to accuracy or some other things like that. And the mod slots, the mods, they'll be for underbarrel, sights, barrels, stocks, different things like that. So each one is going to affect the gun in a different way and make it either, it's going to behave differently, it's going to be better, and they're going to have rarities as well as the weapons. And the cool thing about that is, say you have a blue gun, but you have all purple mod slots. Well, that gun is now a purple gun because of all of the upgrades you put on it, which is pretty cool if you ask me, because you can find a gun that you really like and then go get better mod slots and then make that gun your dream gun, basically.
Yeah,
which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. So that's going to be something that's really fun. To get more into the role-playing aspect of it, Dave, what do you did some research on this. What do you have to bring to the table?
Well, I guess if you look at all the components that, if you want to look at your complete build of your character, so you look at the snapshot, and I guess if you want to look at it from an RPG, and I'm looking at it from an Elder Scrolls standpoint, you look at your basic,
right,
your summary screen, and it gives you your health and where your attributes are stacked, stamina, health, magicka, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it'll show you based on what you have equipped. So your main hand, your offhand, and then all of your gear pieces. And then based off of where your attributes are set, it'll give you kind of a readout of all of your different metrics, whether
right,
it's critical damage percentage or it's recovery percentage, so on and so forth. So there is a very similar setup in this, and you could also look at it from a Destiny standpoint in light level, and then your intellect, discipline, and strength if you're not familiar with RPGs. So if you equip a weapon that has 2% extra critical damage, it will boost that stat up, right? So it's just a way to look at everything in one picture and kind of see what it's all doing behind the scenes. So an example, so if you break that down, instead of having like a health, magicka, and stamina, or a light level, intellect, discipline, strength, they have appointment, tactician, and survivalist. And these are the types of things that will affect your skill cooldown. So if you want to be the damage per second guy, more close quarters combat guy, you're going to do things in the point man. So you're going to start balancing your skill points that you get, and you're going to start putting them into bucketing them into these three categories. So if you want to be the tank player, that's absorbing and doing a lot of damage from mid-range, you put more points in this
the survivalist.
Well, into the tactician.
Oh, right, because it's the bonus to skill cooldown.
Exactly. So that one will add bonuses to certain certain skill cooldowns or defensive protection bonuses, so on and so forth. So that's like one point of it. And then the second point, there's power scores. So the power scores kind of come from, excuse me, power scores are attack, protection, and vitality. So these are the things that you're looking at that break down further and show you all the attributes that we're talking about, so that you can kind of keep an eye on, if you want to look to see how much critical damage you're actually doing. So when a critical shot lands, is it doing 10% more damage or 50% more damage? There'll be a little screenshot that'll show you. So that if you equip one weapon that has a higher percent and you say, I want to get mine at least 30%, you can tool around with your inventory and your gear and with these different aspects to get it where you want it to be.
Yeah, when they said it was going to be an RPG, they weren't kidding.
Right,
I mean,
right.
A lot of this info and a lot of these things we're talking about came from one of Marco Styles' video on character progression, and he recreated what he saw in the menus from the E3 gameplay. And like when he pulled up the menu, like there was so much information going on under these little tabs. I mean, it was like crazy. Now all the numbers and things are probably a work in progress, and then even the menus themselves are probably going to change. But the fact that they put that much effort into it to be like, all right, it's like basically a stat on every single thing that goes on with your guns in the game and your armor and everything. Like if you want to know what's going on, then you can pull it up and you can see exactly what's going on, and you can make these minute changes to your build to get the most effective strategies out of. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing, like how detailed it is.
Yeah, and just to be, and I love detail. I've been making spreadsheets about this all day long. So
yeah,
you see me on Reddit posting my spreadsheets, but the details there if you want it. That's the nice thing, is you don't have to dive deep into it, and the more you want to understand, the more you can by looking at it. It's still the same stuff. It's still, you equip your gear, you equip your weapons, you assign some points to attributes, your whatever role you want to play, one of those 3 roles, and then your skills, right? And then it really computes everything else and just shows you where you're at on all of those different metrics that you would look at. So yeah, it sounds a little overwhelming, but there's a lot there to dive into if you want. But the up front is just stuff that you're going to do normally. It's going to be pretty cut and dry what you have to do. You have to pick a skill. You can upgrade a skill, and then at the end of the day, it really does matter how that your end build turns out. That's the thing.
Right. And that's what's so crazy about it, is that you're going to have so many things that are going to change it. Like all of the weapons are going to be different. Like the different classes of weapons, the different gear that you'll get, the different mod slots. I mean, you're going to have like customization on top of customization, which is, and a game that's all about getting loot. I mean, that's like a dream world. Like just thinking about it right now makes me just like, I'm like drooling because I love collecting things in games, and like having a purpose, of going out and like, okay, well, I'm at this point, but I want to go get this piece of gear because I'm going to level up a little bit more, and if they make it like how Destiny kind of redesigned how they get their exotic drops, and where you need to go to get something, but you're like, okay, I need help with this. I can't go get this set of gear unless I have 2 or 3 other guys to come help me, because the enemies are extremely difficult, or there's a ton of them, or I need to go level up my gas mask a little bit more because I have to get into this more contaminated area.
Right, yep.
and stuff like that. Like the possibilities really are endless, how they could toy around with the progression and the gear and things that you can get, and like what goes into it and the story behind it. Like it's just gonna be so cool, and then you throw the crafting on top of that. It's seriously, I'm gonna spend so much time in this game. I already can see it now. It's gonna be like, I was playing Destiny earlier today, and someone said, what's really going to suck is trying to find time to balance between Destiny and The Division. I was like, crap, that's going to suck. I was like, I hope Destiny just starts being terrible at that point, or they have no content. That way I can just play The Division, not worry about it. Yeah. But, I mean, it's a good problem to have, though, when you have a bunch of games that are going to, that are fun, you know, and that you enjoy.
Yeah.
As long as there's balance and stuff.
Yeah.
But and the shooting mechanic is there. Like I never got to really experience like the customization and stuff, because the only thing that we like, if people don't know, like we need to do that episode where kind of explain my background with the division.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah,
that special.
I don't think nobody.
But,
you never really introduced yourself, so we'll save that for
in the
another
very
episode.
first episode,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. If you go back and listen to the very first episode, everyone kind of described or gave their history and their background, and then we just moved on, and then we didn't even talk about me. So, but I actually got to play the division at E3. So, but like I said, I didn't get to play around with. All you did was you went in.
You're being very modest,
distraction.
Boom. You've made a couple videos about the division as well. I just want everybody to know, throw it out there.
I do have a YouTube. I haven't uploaded a video in a long time because we haven't had any content, but I will be doing a lot of videos on it when we do start getting more. It's funny because when I stopped, like my last video was like a month or two ago, and I was at like 400 and something subs. And you get 500 subs, and then you get like a custom URL, which I was waiting for, because I made my YouTube channel back in like 2009 or something, and it was totally not related to what I'm doing now at all. So I was waiting for that, and every day like I would get like 2 or 3 subs, and I was like, what is going on? Like I'm not even putting out any more contents, but
all
it
these
was really cool.
all these listeners that are getting caught up need to go check out your channel now and sub there too. Right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like if you want to go listen and get more details on things that are going on, you can go to my channel. It's youtube.com/C. Just search Boomslangg Gaming HD and you'll find it. And Boomslangg with 2 G's. But yeah, what was I saying? I can't even remember now. Oh, I played at E3, and it was just, you went in and you were shooting, basically. Like, they didn't even really want you to look at the menus. Marco's style is different because he's special, because he's a big The Division YouTuber.
Yes, and he's awesome.
Yeah, he is extremely detailed. Like, if you want to see the most realistic recreation of the menus and what's going on in the game, then go check out his channel. It's Marco Style NL, and he does an amazing job.
This guy is detailed beyond...
Oh,
I bet he's got some awesome spreadsheets. I'm just telling you.
You and him would get
he
along
doesn't
pretty well.
realize it, but he and I have a bromance forming. So
we should get him on the show.
I think you should do it, not me,
have
because
to break you guys. All right, guys, stop talking spreadsheets.
it might be
Let's talk about the
stalker
game
if
now.
I do it. It might come off a little weird, so you might want to approach him.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. But the shooting mechanic is ridiculously solid. Like, when I went into that booth, it was on Xbox One, but I mean, when I got control of my character, I was like, oh my gosh, this game plays amazing. Like, it felt so freaking good. Normally when I play like third-person shooters that are kind of sluggish a little bit, this one was not. Like, it was a lot. Like, you play Metal Gear Solid, it was a little more fast-paced than that. And the camera view, like, I don't like the third-person camera view in Metal Gear Solid. Like, this one was just right. Like, it's up over the top right shoulder a little bit. So you get all your and when you're aiming, and it zooms out a little bit more when you're not, and you have all of your information up on the screen, and but it's like, it's super snappy, and you like I didn't struggle to acquire my targets. It was like, all right, there's a guy, boom, aim, it was perfect. So that part of the game, like, I already know is solid. So if they can pair that with the RPG skills that we've been talking about here, like, it seriously is. It's going to be a heck of a game if they nail it, and I really think they will, because they're definitely taking their time to do it. So, but yeah,
I think it's what's most interesting to me, that I'm most looking forward to, is being in this setting that's realistic. There's probably some out there. I don't know how involved like Metal Gear Solid is on the back, creating a character and all these things, but the only RPGs I've ever played have been like in the fantasy, and I haven't played too many of them, but your Skyrims and those types of things. But I haven't played anything like that in a more realistic combat type setting. So I guess that's what I'm excited about, to see how they kind of intertwine those two concepts together.
Right. I don't think there's ever been an RPG in the modern day that I can think of, at least. Can you guys think of one that's been in the modern time?
No, not that I can think of.
That's going to be really interesting to see. That's gonna be really cool. Like, I think they're doing it right with all their mod slots and stuff and the different guns that they have.
Yeah.
That's a realistic way of providing like loot and stuff. I wonder what kind of different loot they're gonna have. I mean, they obviously are gonna have their gas mask and all the other gear, and I wonder if it's gonna be more militaristic style or how that's gonna play out. Because I like, you know, making my character look really cool, and I like all the character models that they have. But so it's please come out with more information. I actually asked Hamish about it the other day. I was like, when are we gonna get some more information? He was like, soon. I was like, how soon is soon, and what is it going to consist of? And then he never responded.
Yeah.
Scared him off. But, so I don't know how soon is, but we'll see. Maybe I can get a little more information out of him. I don't know. It's kind of funny because, like, never mind. I'm not going to give away my secrets. Yeah. So, Dave, you had a little bit of an idea for a little bit of fun that we're going to have. What? Lead away. What are we going to do?
All right. So I thought maybe we'd take a couple minutes here and just try to plot out, or just try to, with the information we have, try to create your build. You know, so I guess we're going to assume some roles here, and we're going to put Boom as the DPS, the damage per second character, right?
Oh yeah.
And then Doom, I guess you're stuck being the tank character. You know, I know you're going to be upset about this, but
no, I'm totally okay with that.
I figured you. I knew you were.
Give me the big guns.
Yeah, and in the holy, quote unquote, holy trinity, I would be the healer, but I'm never the healer, so I'm going to be support in this case. So I'll be the support just like I am on the show. So we were just talking about trying to go through, okay, you talk about everything that makes up your score, your weapons, your gear, some of the statistics that you find valuable for that class or build, and then maybe a couple of the possible skills that are going to be available. So I'll just kind of kick it off. So for me, if I'm thinking support, primary, secondary weapon, I'm thinking I'm hanging back a little bit, to try to help with some healing or provide cover, back cover. So I'm thinking for myself, if I was in this role, I'd want the DMR. I think for longer, long range engagements, and then I would probably go an assault rifle as my secondary. What do you think, Doom? Does that sound right? I'm all nervous because I think you're going to critique it. Okay, all right.
No, that actually
one thing to point out though about the weapons is you will have a primary and you will have a secondary and you will have a sidearm.
So that's my So that's my primary and secondary.
Right. I wonder though, like if the primary and secondary, like you can have whatever in primary and secondary, or if it's, I think you can. Yeah. I think you can have you can have two guns.
That would make more sense if they do it that way, and that is a common loadout for designated marksmen. Is to carry a designated marksman rifle and then a smaller assault rifle with them. So that is a pretty realistic loadout.
Right, and then you would have a sidearm too.
Yes,
because they don't take up a lot of room. They just like sit on your thigh or whatever.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
And then
is that your build?
What's that?
It's like what else? Would
we could get really into detail. Like how I could typically get into detail, but I want to just go over. So if you were to pick your points, I think this kind of makes sense. You pick your archetype points where you have where you're going to distribute this, whatever it is. Maybe they give you 2 points every time you level up. Where are you going to stick these points? Where you're going to put them in. If you're a support role, you're going to put more of your points into this survivalist category. So if I got that into the, as far as 60% of my points. And then,
explain why you would pick survivalist, because I don't know if we went over that in the beginning.
Yeah, sure. So if you have these 3 different archetypes, the pointman, tactician, survivalist, and you get 2 points per level. So let's say you get 100 points. Well, each one of these attribute sets that you're putting your points into will adjust your selected skills and other attributes. So it's a buff. So if you're playing a healer role, you want to put more of your points into the survivalist. Now the other 2, you can kind of, and I'll give you a couple examples of survivalist ones, but maybe you guys can give 1 or 2 of the other ones. But if a point man is a DPS character, And the type of things that you would see with that are like critical hits percentages.
Right.
So those are the types of things I'm looking at. Well, as a support, you're probably lighter on the armor, but you still want to be able to do some damage. So those are the two I would personally be bouncing back from, the point man and the survivalist. And so then my lowest of the three would probably be the tank in the middle. As far as being, obviously when I think tank, I'm thinking,
right. And with each skill, like in the video, Marco points out that they provide a bonus to survivalist bonus to defense skills,
right?
Or
exactly.
And point man is bonus to offensive skill cooldowns, and tactician is bonus to skill cooldowns.
Right.
So it's like you put those into it, and it's going to give you, like you said, a buff to whatever skills that you have, and it's going to complement whatever your play style is.
Exactly. So that's why you want to make sure that you're complementing it, right? So if you're putting all your points into this, the survivalist archetype, and it's buffing all of your support type skills and things that you're selecting, well, if you don't select those, you're kind of wasting the buff, right? So it's really not doing you the justice. So I'm just going to go over it. So obviously in the survivalist type archetype, I'm looking for some certain scores to get out of that portion of it, of vitality score. So there's some different ones here for this one. Maximum health regeneration, receiving health bonus, your percentage, your giving health bonus percentage, and your sprint. So all of those are calculated by the amount, by your gear, by the skills you selected, by everything you've selected. And then
I just got chills
and then
when you said that.
And then modified or buffed by the amount of points you have in that given archetype. Okay, so if
that's
and
awesome.
that's just for that one score. So like here an example, if I'm a support role, I'm going to pick obviously you're always going to be looking at your own personal from a health and regeneration type of perspective. But if you're playing a support role, you obviously want to be able to heal yourself a little better, just because you're going to be like light armor. So you want to be able to accept healing better, and you want to be able to heal others or revive others faster or more effective. So those are two stats on there that are probably pretty important for that type of role.
Nice.
So then the last point of that, which would be, this could be a little speculation on this part, but if there's two skills, so you have two skills that you pick out.
Right.
And the skills are, in my mind, they're the abilities, like from Destiny. You have like a melee and you just pick two things, and they're on a cooldown. They're active. Right. So in this case, I would look at it and say, okay, I'm going to have the pulse, which is, emits a pulse out and kind of shows where enemies are near, either on the, I'm not exactly sure how it comes back, either on a radar or location. As a support role, hey, run a pulse, or one of the first aid type of things. So there are some area of effect first aid skills.
Yeah,
so that,
it's like a health bomb.
Yes, so that
literally,
so that you could heal the whole team.
Or like a health grenade. Yeah, you throw it out, and then it just kind of explodes in like a little area, like you're saying, area of effect of healing.
Right,
which is really cool.
Yeah, so if you did something like that, all those things are complementing each other into that role. So if you did all that and you got to your skills and you picked totally offensive skills, it's just not going to balance out the way that it probably would.
You're going to throw out a med pack, and it's going to do heal a person by 10 points.
Right, if you don't have the points allocated correctly.
Right. That's going to be cool, because like I was saying earlier, if you don't know what to do in an RPG, or especially in this game, then it's going to hinder you a lot compared to in a normal game where you just go in and shoot people.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that they just have that one click of the button, so you can look at that summary screen and get, once you get your head around it, all the data is there, so it'll just tell you, okay, this is what you're doing. You might want to look at this a little different, so.
Yeah. So for my build, I would be DPS, obviously, which is how I am in every RPG game I've ever played. Run and gun, go in there, balls to the wall, guns a-blazing. I mean, I'll try to be more strategic in this one, because you can't really do that, or else you're going to die. But I would probably pick an assault rifle, and then probably a shotgun as my secondary, just for those close quarters, because I would use the assault rifle to soften everybody up, move in with a shotgun, and then take everybody out. You know, I would put most of my points into the point man, and then I would probably put, like, if we have 100 points, I'd probably put 60 into point man, 20 into tactician, and then 20 into survivalist, just to kind of, like, in case I needed to, you know, help people out with the healing, then I would do that as well. I don't know what kind of assault rifle I would use. I guess they've only shown a couple, but
I think we can hear about another one a little later in the show that might be a good choice.
That would be the one
you.
that I would use, actually. That would actually be the one that I would use. But yeah, that's really cool. I love the fact that there are so many details. Like, I didn't really know the details when it came into, like, actually, like, how effective you are at the particular skills that you would use with those. And for assault or for DPS, I would probably use the Seeker Mine and the Sticky Bomb. That would do, like, the most damage. Those things are really cool. And the cool thing about the Seeker Mine, which I don't think a lot of people know, if you watch the videos, they normally set it on the ground and it rolls out and attacks. You can actually throw it too. So I was actually playing it, and instead of tapping the button, I held it down because I'm used to, like, grenades or whatever and getting ready to hold it. And I held it down, and he pulled back like he was going to throw it. I was like, I can throw this thing? This is awesome. And I chucked it over towards some cleaners and blew them up. So, but yeah, that's probably what I would do. And just, I mean, it's hard to know exactly how you would build it out, but it would definitely be a lot of attack-based skills. Right. And then I want to be able to play as all the roles. Like, I like playing all the roles, but I'm more of a DPS person. What about you, Doom?
Well, I will be going with the tank, which means probably most of my points will be going into tactician.
Right.
I'll probably do 50 if we're going with 100 points. I'll do 50 into that and probably 25 into the other two, because I'm going to need to be able to absorb a lot of damage, and since the weapons that I'm going to choose are high damage output anyway, a lot of my damage will be coming from that. And then, you know, I'll need to have decent vitality to stay alive, but most of it will want to be in defense. And I'll be relying on the healer to, you know, heal me with the healing grenades or whatever, so that I can sustain that frontline contact. For my weapon loadout, I'll be going with the Super 90 shotgun and the M249 saw.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So lots of damage and high rate of fire damage output. And for I don't remember right off. I know that they've shown a few sidearms. I'd have to go back over them again, but I would just pick a good high damage output handgun just to go with that.
357 mag or something, or Desert Eagle.
Well, if I had my choice, I'd go with a 1911. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
Right. But yeah, so obviously, yeah, most of my value into the protection end of it. As far as the skills, I think there's a couple of the skills that I saw that haven't been shown a whole lot, but they have been seen. One of them is called Fortitude, and I don't know exactly what that means. They've just shown it, but I can imagine that would increase your probably your ability to either take or put out damage.
Right.
And so that sounds like something that would be good for a tank. The other one that I would go with is that shockwave technique. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you see on the video, on one of Marco Styles' videos, a guy runs up. Now, the sprint isn't a part of the skill, but the guy just sprints up in the middle of these three guys and does his little shockwave and knocks them all down.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember that one.
Yeah. So if the run isn't part of that, if that's just something you can do, and if you're literally in frontline direct contact with the enemy and you do that shockwave, you can knock them all down because you're already right there taking all the aggro.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want to play the game.
Sounds like we got a good squad here.
Yeah. I'm excited to get into it and see what happens. We should do a lot of streaming and stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be fun. So let's talk about the gun that I'll probably use in my build. with our gun review. So Doom, tell us, what gun are we going to be talking about today?
Well, this week, last week I put out on Twitter a straw poll to have people vote on which weapon we wanted to talk about, and I think it was 63% voted for the ACR assault rifle.
I knew it was going to win. That's the one I voted for that one too.
I did. I knew that it was going to win. I was kind of hoping for the Super 90 shotgun because I've owned one of those in real life, but this is a good gun too. I'm excited to use it. Now, this is one of the few weapons that we know about in game that I have not used in real life yet because it is so new.
Yeah.
It's only been developed within the past few, within I think the past 10-ish years.
It is relatively new.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Okay. So ACR stands for Adaptive Combat Rifle. It's the production name for the updated version of the Masada Adaptive Combat Weapon System. It's an assault rifle platform designed by Magpul Industries of Austin, Texas. The rifle was initially developed over a period of 5 months and was planned to replace the M16 completely independent of government funding. So
that would have been really awesome if the military started using the ACR. That would have been, well, I guess they'll. Does it talk a little bit more about it, or
about how it was going to be replaced? I think I have a little bit more in here about it. The Army has a lot of ideas and a lot of plans for replacing weapon systems, and we kind of talked about it on the last episode about the M14 and how it was replaced by the M16. They get a lot of ideas, and then you have a bunch of different changes of leadership and command, and they'll come in and be like, okay, I don't want to do what that guy was doing, or lots of things happen, and they've been trying to change the weapons for a while. For a while, I think we were going to change over to, what was it, the XM8 or something, I think?
Yeah, I remember the XM8.
And then that never happened.
That gun doesn't even exist anymore.
Right, so... the original Magpul Masada design represented a combination of several recent rifle designs, incorporating what was considered by its designers to be the best features in a single lightweight modular rifle platform. Design features from the Armalite AR-18, the short-stroke gas system, and the FN SCAR's upper receiver and charging handle location. The H&K G36 or the XM8. It used a liberal use of polymer components, so the ACR uses a lot of polymer components too.
Right.
And also from the M16 or the AR-15, the trigger pack, the barrel, and the fire control group were all used in that. It also, let's see. The rifle also included several features developed from Magpul, such as a quick change barrel system, adjustable gas regulator, non-reciprocating charging handle, and storage compartment located in the stock and grip. So they were,
that's cool.
Yeah, they were really trying to make this a fully functional rifle. They took all the best parts of a bunch of other weapon systems and platforms and put it into one weapon.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So experts from Magpul Industries had on several occasions mentioned that depending on the barrel length, the rate of fire was estimated to be in the range of 600 to 800 rounds per minute. The estimated specifics haven't been verified. The weapon's caliber could also easily be changed by replacing the bolt head, magazine, and barrel. So
that's the one thing about this gun that I always thought was really cool, because I actually wanted to buy an ACR, and then I saw the price tag, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not getting an ACR.
Yeah,
but the fact that you could change out the barrels and the bolt head, magazine, and I was like, this is really cool, because I used to watch the military channel a lot, and they talked about the ACR, and that's where I was like, oh, this thing's freaking badass, I want one.
Yeah. So Bushmaster Firearms actually got the design from Magpul, and they're the ones that renamed it to the ACR from the Masada. But they made extensive design changes based on the intensive environmental and functional testing, specifically to meet the emerging requirements for the U.S. military. It was made to endure certain conditions such as sand, dirt, mud, water, and all of that stuff. The ACR is currently offered to military and civilian personnel in the .223 or the .556 NATO round. Bushmaster and Remington have planned kits to switch the caliber of the rifle to the 6.8 millimeter, which is what I would really want. I'm a big fan of that 6.8 round.
Yeah,
there's a bigger round, a lot more damage output.
Be good for deer hunting.
Yeah. So the ACR comes in different barrel lengths: 10.5 inch, 14.5 inch, which is what the M4 barrel length that I used in the Army was. It was 14.5, and 16.5 and 18 inch. Commercial models, available to civilians are only available in the 16.5 inch. It's just what am I trying to say? The class of the weapon. Anything shorter than that, I think, becomes a class 4 weapon, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Right. So Remington also has subcompact versions of the gun called the ACRC personal defense weapon with a 9.5 inch stock, or 9.5 inch barrel with a folded stock. With the stock folded, the entire weapon system is only 19.5 inches long.
Dang.
Yeah. Bushmaster also has designed a DMR version of the ACR with an 18.5 inch full profile 416 stainless steel melanite coated barrel that retains the carbine length gas system, and a 1 to 7 inch rifling twist and a Giselle enhanced trigger. So this thing is a sniper. They can turn it into a sniper rifle.
That would be cool. I hope they can do that in the game. Like, the ACR probably could be one of the most customizable guns in the entire game. That
is what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping the Armory is. Like what we talked about last time, is bringing your mods back and actually being able to work on your gun. And really, because this gun is very highly modular, and so you can change out a lot of stuff on it. I'm really hoping that kind of stuff is available. Yeah. I mean, you never know. With Red Storm being the ones designing the guns, you never know what's possible.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it could be crazy. Like the different customizations that could go into it. Like you were saying, you could change it from an assault rifle to a DMR.
Yep.
How cool would that be if you could swap like actual categories of guns by the different mods you put on them?
Yeah. Yeah, or even shorten it down to the ACRC and make it almost an SMG. Just a short, real, CQC style gun, which would be awesome. So the rifle was originally named after the Siege of Masada, but Magpul company literature about the rifle states that Magpul Industries is not a Jewish-owned or Israeli-backed company. However, Magpul has always found the story of Masada as a bold example of defiance. When production rights were signed with Bushmaster, the Masada name was dropped in favor of the ACR. But it was named after the Siege of Masada, which was one of the final events of the First Jewish and Roman War. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, they really. I have some information about it if you guys are interested in the history, but it is, it was a big event that they thought represented the weapon well.
Yeah. Dude, I wonder, like, if people really like these weapon reviews, we could do, like, special episodes where we talk about one weapon for, like, 30 minutes or something like that. Like, if you guys like that, definitely send us some emails, hit us up on Twitter or whatever, and then we could do that, because I love talking about guns like this. Like,
yeah,
I like just sitting here listening, like, oh, this is, it really is interesting, especially if you're into guns like that. So
yeah, that's been my favorite part so far about preparing these gun reviews, is I get to go back and read the history. I'm a huge fan of history. I listen to a couple of different history podcasts all day while I'm at work, just different war history and different stuff like that. And so I've really enjoyed researching this stuff. So that would be cool if people are into it. I would totally be down for doing, almost like a lore, special edition kind of thing, but it's lore that's actually real.
Right. Yeah. That is really cool. That's what's fun about this game, is everything is real.
Yep.
So, well, that was a really awesome gun review. That is definitely going to be the gun that I'm going to be using. I hope they can customize it, or that it'll be customizable as much as what you've been talking about.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the assault rifle that's going to steal the show in this game.
Yeah, I hope so, because that's my favorite gun, pretty much. So with that, let's move into listener mail. So first off, if you have a question you want answered on the show, you can send it in by one of two ways. You can either email us at rogueagentradio@gmail.com or send us a voicemail to speakpipe.com/rogueagentradio. You can state your name, leave a question, and then we'll try to answer it on the show. Just like Andrew. Andrew asks, how big will the map be, and will there be other cities to explore besides New York? Well, Andrew, we don't know exactly how big the map is going to be, but we do know that it is restricted to the New York area. Like, I don't know if you guys have looked at a whole lot of info on it. Do you guys know about the map size or anything? Have you watching Marco's videos about it? It's like they basically it goes from like Manhattan, kind of like it's a pretty big area of New York, but I think it's pretty much just restricted to that general area.
Okay.
But they don't really know how big it's going to be.
Yeah, the only thing that I saw was like the dark zone was going to be like 1/4 of the map size. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
I've seen some of Marco's stuff where he lays it out, but I don't know geographically how you explain that area, so I don't want to speak incorrectly, like if it's all of New York or...
Yeah, he said that, well, the dark zone's going to be like in the middle, supposedly.
Right.
Like that's where that's where they brought everything into the middle of the map, and then it got out of control or whatever. But he has maps laid out of where it was exactly where he was because of the like city landmarks and stuff, because it is so realistic. Like, there's actual stuff in the city from there. He did one video, I think, where he like just walked and then compared it to like Grand Theft Auto's walking and how far. I mean, he, like he said, he's extremely detailed, but he said, I've heard rumors that the map is supposed to be as big as Grand Theft Auto 5's map. I'm not sure how true that is, but because no one has said how big the map is going to be. So that
would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I expect it not to be like absolutely massive, but I expect it to be very dense with a lot of things to do inside it, which I would be totally okay with, because I'd rather have a world that's got a lot of detail and a lot of things to do in that world than just a huge wide open area with a few things scattered about here and there to do.
Yeah, that's kind of the way, say like Fallout 3. Fallout 3 had a massive map, but just the actual city area of DC wasn't very big. But whenever you went in there was a ton of stuff packed into that small area of the map. So if they can just cram a bunch of stuff in there to do, then it won't really matter. If it's, I mean, obviously the map's going to be pretty good size with the way games, I mean, even look at Batman Arkham Knight. That city area is pretty good size, but it doesn't really seem that big because you get around so fast. I imagine you're probably not going to be gliding from building to building or driving around in a Batmobile. So even if it is that exact same size, it'll probably feel a lot bigger when you're on foot the entire time.
Right, yeah, because there's not going to be any vehicles in it, because supposedly the reason being that you wouldn't be able to get around because of all the cars and things, like people leaving and evacuating, and the streets are just blocked up, so it's pointless having a vehicle and being able to drive around. Now, I was thinking about this when I first got Metal Gear Solid. It'd be different if you had a horse.
Right, that is a pretty good idea.
Think about that. I mean, like, say you go to the park, and the park rangers have horses, right?
Or the New York City Police Department has their mounted police unit.
Yeah, so there you go, massive free idea for mobile transportation right there. Or you could break into a electronics store and steal a Segway. I mean, think about it.
Or a lion from the zoo. I'll take the lion
that
from
would be
the
even
zoo.
better. Yeah, mounts. That would be awesome. Ooh, speaking of mounts, what do you think about pets being in the game, like companions? Like if you had a dog or something like that.
I never got into that. I don't know.
I think it's probably a little more. That's probably too RPG kind of fantasy.
Yeah,
that might be pushing it.
That'd be a tough sell for the realism.
Yeah, that, and I'd rather work on something else. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
Don't spend your
But,
time
I mean, you have
giving me a
D-Dog in
pet.
Metal Gear Solid 5,
Yeah.
and he does a lot of things. So, I mean,
Well, I mean, you do have your little flying drone that flies up and flashes people in the face.
right. I guess that could count.
You could just name him.
Right. I guess it just might be interesting. Like, it probably wouldn't be super realistic if you had a dog that could go out and scout places and find materials and things for you. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I mean, like, they have drug dogs and things.
Right. I mean, that is something that definitely could be interesting if it was done the right way. You know, if there was a way to have a trained, K9, aspect to, something that you could put points into or whatever. That could be interesting.
Like a buddy system, like in Metal Gear.
Yep.
That could be another topic for another show.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Yeah. So, you guys have anything else to add? Any final thoughts?
I would ask people to keep an eye on the Rogue Agent Twitter, because within the next few days I will probably be posting another poll for the next weapon review. I'll pick 3 more weapons, or I'll probably just add another weapon to the ones that I posted last week, because we only have so many to go through.
Right.
And just ask people to vote on it again, and they will be the ones deciding my next weapon review.
Yeah. Definitely do that if you have a preferred gun. Hopefully we'll get some more info here soon, and we can start throwing some more guns in there and just have some new things to talk about.
It sounds like the Super 90 shotgun. Is that what we're trying to steer people to that one? Just you mentioned it already.
Oh, well,
You're
Go
like-
vote for the Super 90.
Eventually we'll get through all of them, but
Right, that's true.
that's the one I was hoping for, just because I used to own one and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It'll be the last one people ever pick, and then
Probably.
Doom will just be like exploding with excitement when he
Yep.
finally gets to review it. What you, Dave? Any final thoughts?
No, only final thought is I hate to even bring it up, but because I've been working on the website, and it's by the next show we'll have something live for everybody to look at. So we'll talk more
Sweet.
in depth then, but it
wait.
started off pretty strong, and then the Taken King.
Life happened.
And
Life happened.
yeah, that too. Life and
The Taken King showed up and took all your time.
Yes. So definitely on my agenda this week to finish up. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming there.
Sweet.
Yep.
Oh, another thing I wanted to say. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who's been listening and downloading the show. Every time that Boom tells me how many downloads we've had,
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's amazing.
Surpassed first 1,000 downloads.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
Awesome.
Thank
that's
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna throw some music in here, like party music. Not really. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Yeah, thank you so much. Like, I did not expect people to be this into it, but
Yeah.
it's exciting to see people are listening to it and getting the information out. Like, I don't care so much about how many people listen to it just for the sake of listening to it, but the fact that they're hearing about this game that we're really excited for, and I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited for. Like, I want people to have fun. That's what we're all gamers. That's what we're all here about. We're all about having fun. And so if a game is good and a game is fun, go play it.
Yeah.
So,
And if you guys think me doing a spreadsheet review would fit nicely into the show to gain some more listeners, I'd be up for that.
we get all of our spreadsheet listener guys. Yeah. One final thought that I had. All of the sound bites that you hear in this game, or in podcast, not in the game, they come from my brother. He does a lot of composing music and stuff, and he designed all of these sound bites for me. I said, just make them sound like The Division. Here's some video clips from it. Make them cool.
That's awesome.
And he did it. So
Yeah. Thanks, man.
we're gonna try to get some more in here for each segment and maybe some other things. But yeah, if you want to check him out, his Twitter I think is like at Kyle McCuiston, which is MCCUISTON. But you can check him out, and if you need music made, definitely hit him up because he is amazing at it. But with that, if you guys want to keep up with what is going on with the Rogue Agent Radio crew in between the episodes, you can check us out on Twitter. I'll get it right eventually. Dave is at DeepFriedDave. Doom is at BlessedDoom with an underscore. And yours truly is at Boomslangg with 2 G's and then a underscore at the end. Thanks for listening, everyone. That's going to do it for this transmission, and until next time, maintain radio silence.
Rogue protocol initiated.